Coming up on News Live at 6, SU is shifting from the red COVID level to blue. We have team coverage tonight on reactions on campus and what this means for students, faculty, and staff.
Plus, police start arresting protesters in Canada. Find out what other actions the Canadian government is taking.
And the ex-cop convicted in the shooting of Dante Wright was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Find out how Wright's family is reacting. CitrusTV News Live at 6 starts right now.
6 starts with breaking news.
For the first time in 6 months, Syracuse University is shifting out of the red COVID level. Welcome into News Live at 6. I'm Teagan Brown.
And I'm Trey Redfield. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Vice Chancellor J. Michael Haney says that starting on Monday, SU will be in the blue level.
We have team coverage tonight on this breaking story. CitrusTV reporter Nicole Aponte is live outside the Barnes Center to break down what this means for students and faculty.
We also have our reporter Jacob Goldberg in studio with the latest case numbers in Onondaga County and in New York State. But first, CitrusTV reporter John Perik is live outside on Comstock Avenue with more on how students and faculty are reacting to the shift to Code Blue. John, what can you tell us?
Trey, good evening. It's the news students have been waiting to hear. Although the sign beside me says SU is still in a red level for masking, by Monday, that will change.
From Code Red to Code Blue. For the first time since August 28th, Syracuse will change its masking status.
Feels great, feels long awaited.
This afternoon, SU Vice Chancellor J. Michael Haney released a statement saying, "Today I'm writing to inform you that effective Monday, February 21st, our campus will transition to level blue." Now with masking restrictions loosened, SU graduate student Katie Hopsiker says this will help bring back campus culture.
It'll be definitely nice within the building, like for example here in food.com, to see people more and get to know people better.
Now that SU plans to move from Code Red to Code Blue, vaccinated students can now remove their masks in academic buildings. But it's here in classrooms where the masks need to stay on, which is a sigh of relief for some professors.
Given this unprecedented health crisis, I think there's a danger in moving too fast.
Elliott Lewis, a professor at Syracuse University, says the timing of the change is no surprise.
We've already seen a lifting of mask mandates at the state level, so I really see this as sort of a trickle-down effect. It was just a matter of time before the university reevaluated our mask policies in that regard.
This comes as Onondaga County recently recorded its lowest number of daily cases in over 6 months. On Tuesday, County Executive Ryan McMahon announced 49 new COVID cases, marking the first time the county has recorded fewer than 50 cases since last August.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep the cases down and keep it like that, eventually go down to, Code Green. I mean, that would be great to see too.
That's what many students want. And on Monday, the university will take a step forward. But how long it will remain, only time will tell.
And classrooms are not the only location on campus that will still require masks. Tonight, Citrus TV's Nicole Aponte joins us live near the Barnes Center. Nicole, what other locations on campus can students be required to mask up?
John, masking status across campus is about to change on Monday. Effective on Monday, Syracuse University is start to go into the blue zone. In an email today, those who are vaccinated and boosted at Syracuse University, masks are recommended but not required while indoors on campus or outdoors around others. Now, while you're in your class, masks are still required. And in places like labs, libraries, and other lecture venues, masks are still required regardless of vaccination status. Now, for places like Ernie Davis and Kennedy Ice Pavilion, a Syracuse University spokesperson told us today that masks are recommended but not required in those places, but in the Barnes Center at the Arch right behind me at the Health Center, masks are still required, but while you're working out, masks can lower down. Now, for those that are vaccine exempt or are not boosted yet, masks are still required no matter what. Student Association President David Bruin says that this change comes with students, faculty, and staff all asking the same questions and him advocating as well.
And then as things lowered, it was kind of a question of like, okay, when is this going to change, right? Like, is there a timeline? And you know, asking those questions ultimately, I think, led to where we're at now, which is, okay, let's look at how things are falling. If it's going to stay calm, let's make the change back.
Nicole, do fans at the Dome still have to wear their masks?
Now, Trey, Syracuse University is still requiring masks in the Dome, except while patrons are actively drinking or eating. Now, Vice Chancellor Michael Haney says that, you know, when you're in the Dome right behind me, that they're still talking with other large venue, you know, people who do own these large venue places and public health officials across the state to see if those masking status could change across the Dome and in the Dome as well during any of those games that Syracuse University is hosting. And Vice Chancellor Michael Haney will continue to communicate with Syracuse University community to see if that masking status will change. Reporting live from the Dome tonight, I'm Nicole Aponte, CitrusTV News. Trey?
Thanks, Nicole. The university's decision to switch masking policies was made due to decreasing COVID numbers across the region. Joining us in studio to break down these numbers is Citrus TV's Jacob Goldberg. Jacob?
Thanks, guys. So recently, we're going to look at the trends in Onondaga County COVID cases from the beginning of February 1st to today, today's February 18th, but all the way up to the 16th. As of February 2nd, we can see we have around 500 cases in Onondaga County. This is what the university is going to base their decision off of when they're looking whether or not they should lower or increase their mask restrictions. As we get down to the current time period, you can see it gets all the way down to about 200 cases today, even lower than 200 cases today. So a great sign across Onondaga County. Now looking statewide at COVID cases, we can see that at the beginning of February, we saw almost 10,000 COVID cases across the state. Now that's getting all the way down to just above 2,500 cases. But even in late January, we saw 20,000 cases across the state. So definitely was a big trend into late January, and COVID levels have been going down steadily. Another big reason why the university decided to lower their COVID restrictions. Now moving on to the COVID hotspots around New York State. As you can see in central New York, we have Onondaga County and Oswego County, and those are in the orangish range, you know, kind of in the kind of hotspots, but not really hotspots. But all across New York, we're seeing, you know, counties that are not really hotspots, which is a great trend across the state. Guys, back to you.
Jacob, thank you. Now the latest on COVID cases here at SU. There are 122 active cases. That's an increase of 27 since yesterday. This includes 32 new student cases and 2 new employee cases. The positivity rate remains at 1%. A partnership between the Newhouse School of Communications and a local media company has created a new sports radio program. It's offering Syracuse University students a one-of-a-kind opportunity to gain broadcast experience on a major platform. Our reporter Peter Elliott is inside Newhouse with more. Peter?
Teagan, good evening. For aspiring sports broadcasters here at SU, there are a number of ways to get their voices heard, like on the local NPR station WAER or the student-run station Z89. But a new show launched by the Newhouse Sports Media Center is giving students an even bigger platform.
Welcome back to Newhouse at Night on CuseSportsTalk.com via Twitch.
ESPN Experience on campus. That's what nearly 20 aspiring sports broadcasters are getting out of a new partnership between the Newhouse School and Galaxy Media. They've come together to create Newhouse at Night, a daily sports radio broadcast hosted and produced by SU students for ESPN Syracuse Radio, the most listened to sports radio station in central New York. Olivia Stomsky, the director of the Newhouse Sports Media Center, says that they've created a one-of-a-kind opportunity for students with the show.
Early on in the fall semester, we started discussing opportunities of how to get more students involved and how to create a hands-on experience for these students. And so we came up with Newhouse at Night.
The show, which just wrapped up its third week of broadcasts, goes live from 7 to 11 p.m. from the Sports Media Gallery inside Newhouse, both over the airwaves and online, with a video simulcast on Twitch. For Kyle Loughran, who is pursuing a career in sports radio, the experience and exposure he's gained from ESPN is something that he can't get anywhere else.
Being able to say that you're on like the big time station that people would turn to, and it's like ESPN, just attaching that brand, it's just something you're not going to get anywhere else really.
And the stars are coming out at night.
Cole Swider joins us on Cuse Sports Talk.
We're joined by a very special guest, Syracuse point guard Joe Girard joining the show.
Student hosts have been able to interview some of the biggest names in Syracuse sports, allowing fans to see their favorite players in a new light. A show for Syracuse fans by Syracuse University students on Syracuse's biggest platform.
This has been Newhouse at Night on CuseSportsTalk.com. Everyone have a great night.
Now, Stomsky told me that Newhouse at Night is the only program of its kind that pays college students to fill a block of airtime on a commercial radio station. But that could soon change, with Stomsky telling me she's fielded calls from professors and radio executives across the country looking to replicate Newhouse at Night's success. Reporting live outside the Newhouse Sports Media Gallery, I'm Peter Elliott, Citrus TV News.
Peter, thanks so much. And now you look at this weather, Teagan, you saw last night, raining all throughout the entire day, and then it turns into snow. Just when you thought that the snow was going to go away, whoop-de-doo-dah, it shows right back up.
I mean, the weather here in Syracuse has always been kind of strange, but somebody who can tell us even more is our weather anchor, Tyler O'Neill. Tyler?
Thanks, Teagan and Trey. I think the same exact thing. I was all excited. The snow is finally off the ground, and yet again, here it is. The white snow covers the ground once again. Right now, 21 degrees. Redfield 10 with the wind. Windy about 11 miles an hour right now. Mostly cloudy. The snowing has gone away, but we still have a flood watch in effect. Right now, their flood watch will end within the next hour. There are ice wedges that can get stuck around the bends of rivers and lakes, and those will cause flooding at some sites, so beware of that. Excessive runoff may cause flooding in the waterways, so make sure if you're near those, just keep an eye out. But what do you guys have for us?
Tyler, coming up after the break, Citrus TV reporter Louise Rath talks about a major change at Syracuse Hancock International Airport.
And police in Canada start arresting protesters in Ottawa. Find out more after the break.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. This year, the Syracuse Hancock International Airport is taking new measures to create a more competitive airfare for passengers. Citrus TV reporter Louise Rath has more.
After months of planning, a new initiative at the Syracuse Hancock International Airport is ready for takeoff.
But if it works, I would say that it's good.
The SYR airport is set to welcome a new aircraft rescue and firefighting team this summer.
They train for aircraft emergencies, different aircraft types, but they also do provide EMS and first responder service across the airport.
The City of Syracuse Fire Department has provided these airport fire services since the early 2000s. But when the 174th National Guard decided to create its own fire department, Jason Terreri knew it was time for a change.
It just makes sense that they provide the primary out here because why have a duplication of resources?
The National Guard Attack Wing is stationed at the Hancock Field Air National Guard Base, which is just a few wingspans away from the Syracuse airport.
We pay the city of Syracuse between $3.5 and $4 million a year for fire service. That cost will go away with the Guard providing it because they're already out here.
So what does this mean for people like you and me who aren't exactly in the cockpit of this operation? Well, the SYR airport could be bringing Central New Yorkers lower airfare and new airlines to send passengers to new destinations.
So what that will actually do is reduce the cost of operations for the airlines here at the airport. Ultimately, that can help roll into lower airfares at the airport because it's cheaper for the airlines to do business here.
Some SYR passengers say their nearest airport is too small, so they choose to fly out of Syracuse. Even then, any passenger was excited to hear what the airport is doing to bring them lower airfares.
It would be positive for the city of Syracuse. And again, if you get more airlines in here, more competition, hopefully that would end up with better prices, right?
Even out-of-state travelers, like Todd Merrill, echoed the same hope for these positive changes in the terminal.
I mean, more airlines means more runways, which means more noise, so there's going to be a lot of interest by the local community.
And as the airport looks towards smoother skies, Central New York passengers can look forward to the final descent of these efforts to safely get them to their final destination. Louise Rath, Citrus TV News. Thanks, Louise. Now the latest on the Ukraine-Russia crisis. Today, separatists in eastern Ukraine said they are evacuating civilians to Russia. Residents boarded buses to leave for Russia, and lines formed at gas stations as people began to leave on their own.
President Vladimir Putin has said he will protect Russian interests against the U.S. and European powers. President Biden says he thinks that Putin has decided to invade. Vice President Kamala Harris said the U.S. hopes Russia will de-escalate, but will impose sanctions if they attack. Canadian police are arresting anti-lockdown protesters in Ottawa after 3 weeks of occupying the nation's capital. This comes after 2 protest leaders were arrested on Thursday. Authorities say they didn't want to move protesters by force. They feared a violent backlash. Canadian law enforcement under the Emergencies Act now have the authority to declare blockades illegal and arrest protesters. The parents of Dante Wright are outraged after ex-cop Kim Potter was sentenced to just 2 years in prison earlier today. Minnesota state guidelines recommend a sentence of around 6 to 8 years for first-degree murder. Wright was killed last April by Potter, who claims she mistook her handgun for her taser. Potter pulled over the 20-year-old for having expired license tags and an air freshener on his rearview mirror.
And when we come back, I'll break down tomorrow's forecast as well as your 5-day forecast. Don't go anywhere.
Avoid sick people and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces. And trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, are traumatic events that happen to us as children, yet can impact us for a lifetime.
Visit numberstory.org for tips on helping yourself and your children.
Most
party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I have tomorrow's forecast for you. Tomorrow, 31 degrees in the morning, but the temperatures are going to be dropping as we go throughout the day. 25 at 3 p.m., 23 degrees at 6 p.m. On and off snow showers throughout the day tomorrow. By 10 p.m., they'll stop. We'll have a break throughout midday, and by the time we get back to 4 o'clock, the snow showers will be back. About an inch of accumulations, nothing too much, but the wind tomorrow is going to be the problem. There's a wind advisory in effect for tomorrow as well, so make sure to dress warm, wear a windbreaker, something for the wind and snow. Now for your 5-day forecast. Saturday, 31 occasional snow showers. As we go throughout the week, temperatures will increase. We'll have a nice 52 on Tuesday and 50 on Wednesday as well. Warmer temperatures, which is very, very exciting because I know I'm sick of this cold here. Photo of the day, Yik Yaks, to whomever is playing with the weather remote. Stop it. I can agree with that. This morning we saw the very similar things. Yesterday was warm weather, and as we head to today, we got to much lower temperatures. As we saw this last night, 51, dipping all the way down to 22 degrees. The Syracuse weather is very interesting. Now, Cam, what's going on in sports? I hear we got a big weekend.
Yeah, the Hill is packed with Syracuse sports this weekend, from basketball to lacrosse, from must-wins to legends being immortalized. Your sports update is on the other side.
Our story was begun by someone else. Our story was often shaped by generations before them. Our story was forged and maybe even defined by the experiences of our childhood. But it doesn't need to be. You can be the author. Learn how at numberstory.org.
Welcome to my house. Lately, not my happy place. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The parents were not themselves. My little brothers were morphing into small creatures. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. And there's a lot of that going around right now. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It might not get you out of the house, but it could help you find a little more breathing room.
We are strong and we'll get through this together. But these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Best part of the year in Central New York, and I'm not talking about the abundance of snow outside, because it's basketball and lacrosse crossover season, so let's get into it. Welcome into sports. I'm Cameron Ezair. We tipped things off on the hardwood as Syracuse women's basketball geared up for game number 2 in the span of 3 days in the Dome yesterday, and a chance to knock off a ranked opponent for the first time in over 2 months. And a chance quickly turned into a Virginia Tech track meet as the 23rd ranked team in the country, led by 5th-year guard Asia Shepard, poured in 6 triples for the Hokies, and that wasn't even the most impressive performance of the day. 6'6" junior center Liz Kitley dominated Syracuse's lack of size, dropping 24 points and snatching 11 boards on her way to double-double number 12 on the season. For Syracuse, the only bright spot was Tisha Hyman. The redshirt sophomore scored a team-high 18 points en route to, get this, a 49-point loss in the Dome. Syracuse drops to 11-13 on the season and gives up over the century mark for the second time in its last 5 games. Hey Carrier Dome crew, don't take off the court yet because SU men's hoops has a chance to get back in the win column tomorrow, taking on its Northeast rivals in Boston College for the second time in under 2 weeks. That was a 9-point win for the Cuse, but this time things a bit different with center Jesse Edwards out for the season. It'll be just the second time this season the starting five isn't the per usual crew. What stays the same? It'll be another battle of the brothers between Makai Ashton and DeMar Langford against Buddy and Jimmy Boeheim. Okay, Carrier Dome crew, now it's your crew, now it's your cue. On Sunday, 9th-ranked Syracuse men's lacrosse hosts top-ranked Maryland in a battle between two of the three winningest programs in college lacrosse. The Orange are fresh off a 28-5 thrashing of Holy Cross, SU's most goals in 28 years, while the Terps just ransacked a top 10 Loyola team 20-8 last week. And later on Sunday, 3rd-ranked Cuse women's lacrosse welcomes number 4 Stony Brook. These two have split the last couple matchups, but where the Orange have the leg up in this one, they've played a pair of games already, while the Seawolves kick off their season on Sunday. Oh, and attacker Megan Tyrell is already averaging 7 points per game so far this season. That's a tremendous stat line and a perfect way to end the weekend. Plus, it's Lacrosse Legends Day, where 3 former tremendous Syracuse lacrosse stars will be honored. Former Syracuse lacrosse coach Roy Simmons Jr. and his 6 national titles join a list of SU legends in the Orange Ring of Honor, while arguably the best players in Syracuse women's and men's lacrosse have their jerseys retired as well.
Thank you so much. Coming up after the break, we'll have one last look at your weather. Stay with us.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I have your temperatures high for tomorrow, high of 31 in Syracuse, and basically 29 across the board for most of the day tomorrow. Average temperatures for central New York. Wake up forecast, high of 27, mostly cloudy. Chance of snow throughout the day, and tomorrow is going to be very, very windy, so make sure you wear that windbreaker. Guys, what do you have?
Tyler, thank you so much. That is all the time we have for you today on Citrus TV News.
For more of the latest, follow us on Citrus TV News on Twitter at Citrus TV News, or check out our website at citrustv.com.
For all of us here at Citrus TV News, I'm Teagan Brown.
And I'm Trey Redfield. Have a great weekend.